Good evening and welcome to the Wizard's Table. I'm your host, Mistress B, and with me tonight is the illustrious Ken Allen. How are you doing, Ken?
I'm doing great, baby. I'm sexy.
Well, we knew that.
And you ain't even playing, are you, girl?
No, sir.
Hey, I got it. I'm a flaunt it, right?
Absolutely, that's the way to do it.
You know what I'm gonna start doing?
What?
I'm gonna start making ass art
Do it. I'll help you.
because I have a nice ass. I work out and I do like what's called ass push-ups. Those who know will know. Those who don't will be like,
What the fuck?
WTF is he talking about? Like, oh my God, Becky. Anyway, Becky don't know, by the way. And Karen's, they sure as hell don't know. But yeah, so what you do is you get a piece of paper and you get some black paint or blue, it doesn't matter. And sorry, I'm chewing gum. And you expose your ass and you
Well, yes.
sit down in that paint. Bloop, there's a perfect print of Ken Allen's ass. And you know what? I'd sell that shit. Hey,
Let's do it.
if any of y'all want to buy my ass, I will do that. I will autograph that shit and I will send it to you, baby.
That'll be our new Wizard's Table merch.
You are off the chain tonight, Mistress B. This is a new Mistress B tonight, y'all.
Oh, I'm feeling feisty. I've been up since 5 a.m. and I'm ready to go.
That bitch done came over to the dark side with me, y'all. No, Melvin, bullshit. You like ass too, like everybody else.
We're sending Melvin one first.
Yeah, he got a print. It's called ass printing.
I'll make them too. We'll see who sells the most.
Between me and Melvin, right?
No, between me and you.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's a deal.
We'll have
That's
a
a
little
pact.
competition.
Let's sign a pact right now in blood. Oh, really? You want to get like that? Okay, baby.
I mean, I didn't really cut my hand. No need to cut yours.
I didn't really either,
Okay, good.
but I have in the
Oh, I
past.
know you have.
Real promo. Let me give a real. Hey, Anne Marie Young, love you, baby. Paranormal in the Fun House. Paranormal in the Fun House. Brandon Crody. Paranormal in the Fun House Season 3, Opera House Theater Part 2. Listen, guys, it's only $4 to subscribe to Paraflix. $4 a month. Get it. If you have the chance, get it. You will see me on there opening the veil, doing powerful invocations, and I do, in fact, cut my hand with this very obsidian blade. It's good stuff, and Brandon loved it, and it worked, obviously. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Even if you only go on to watch that one episode, it's $4. Try it for a month. You'll get hooked on everything else that's in there. It's a really, really good service.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I'm
Well,
beautiful. I'm beautiful. I couldn't help.
That's okay.
What did you say?
Well,
Did you say? Wait, did you say that's so gay? It is.
No, I said that's okay. It is so gay, but I said that's okay. Well, since you didn't ask me how I was doing, rude.
I didn't get around to it, baby. How are you doing, Mr. Speed?
I'm pretty good. I worked all day today, and unfortunately, I'm having some swelling in my knees, so I'm not feeling too good. I literally had to put on double knee braces and hope that I'm gonna live.
Okay.
Get the dirty thoughts right on out of there.
I'm just wondering if you're wearing knee braces because of carpet burns and Gage was behind you.
No, I'm a strong ass bitch. I can deal with carpet burns. This is knee and hip pains because I'm an old lady.
Okay. All right.
So tonight we have an interesting show. It's just going to be Ken and I, and we're going to have a little chat. We're going to talk about magic, what it is, what it isn't. We're going to talk a little bit about Wiccan versus witchcraft in general. We might get to some demons because, you know, we love our demons, baby.
Yes, we do, baby.
And we're going to talk about a little bit of folk magic. So to start off, I know we've talked about it on other podcasts, but Ken, how did you get started in magic?
Oh, wow. That's a big question that goes back a long time ago when the world was young. Hello, Robert. So how I got started in magic? Well, basically, I've said this before in other podcasts, but I don't think we
Sorry,
remember.
Pappy.
Remember, his dad watches the show. I don't know what she's talking about. Yeah, that's Gage's dad, by the way. Also, my husband. 22 years, y'all. So, how did I get started in magic? Well, my mother, and I've talked about this a lot. My mother is Sicilian, and of course, her mother was Sicilian, and her mother was Sicilian, et cetera, et cetera. It goes back thousands of years, basically, all the way to ancient Rome. Hail Rome! Okay, I ain't ashamed to say it. Hail Rome! Right. And so they practiced a form of folk magic, Italian slash Sicilian folk magic called strega. Now, they did not really go around saying, "Hey, I'm strega." That was it was very taboo even among the Sicilian people.
Hmm.
All the mafia guys knew not to screw around or mess with or piss off a strega, whether you're male or female. They would not go there. But my mother and her mother, my grandmother, that was where I first got exposed to magic in any form, was through Sicilian folk magic, which is actually really similar to what we're going to talk about tonight, voodoo. It's
A lot
really
of
similar. All folk magic is very similar in a lot of ways. If
oh
you
yeah,
know folk magic, then you know folk magic is similar across the board, across the board. But that's how I
absolutely.
got exposed to it. That's how I was almost, I would say, raised in it, pretty much raised in it. But I branched off and I started being a bad boy and I started working with demons.
We all know you're a bad boy. Don't worry.
What about you, baby?
So I was actually raised super strict Christian.
You're
Like
going to
I
blame it on me, aren't you?
No, I'm not gonna blame it on you. It started before you. It's gotten much worse now that I've met you.
Of
But
course.
but I was actually raised really strict Christian, like so strict that I wasn't allowed to watch the Harry Potter movies because they were witchcraft and they were evil, which is ironic. So nobody tell my mom. But around my like late teens, early 20s, I started to look into other religions because I was struggling with my own sexuality and trying to figure out how like being bisexual made me like bad and something that's going to be cast into hell. And so I
Yeah.
started researching into other religions to be like, okay, if everybody else believes something different, like there can't be one, this can't be the right one. I don't feel evil. I don't think I deserve to be cast into hell because occasionally I like to sleep with women. Like, that's not a bad thing.
No.
Um, so I started doing research into other religions and I really got into like Buddhism, Shintoism, Taoism, and I liked a lot of what they did about meditating and I learned about chakras. And then from there, I started to look into tarot cards
Yeah. Yeah.
because I really liked the idea of divination and I thought they would just be a fun game. So from there, my fascination just grew. I grew to love witchcraft and I started doing candle magic and I started delving into folk magic. I've done a little bit of voodoo. I have a voodoo tarot set that I use. I do it all respectfully because it is a closed practice, but it was gifted to me by you, somebody that's
Yeah.
in the voodoo religion, and so I thought it was still okay to use, even though I haven't been brought into the voodoo religion and it's not my religion. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, you knew I was going to say something. Yeah, we're good together, y'all. Mr. Speed, Ken Allen, we're good. So I gave you, was that the cards, the art, was those the cards that were done by Denise Alvarado?
Yes, I believe so.
And the art was done by Glassman?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I held on to those cards for a long time. Very, very powerful cards. Very powerful cards. I only did one reading with those cards. And I did connect with him, but I'm like, you know what? This ain't it. They belong to somebody else. And that's when I gifted you those voodoo tarot cards.
Yeah, and they're insanely powerful. I've only done one reading and it scared the crap out of me. Like I have never felt that in tune with the spirits and stuff like that. It was intense. And I literally, like, afterwards, I like cast a salt circle and cleansed my body and lit a bunch of candles and poured out some rum. And I was like, okay, don't fuck with me. I'm sorry. These are just cards I was given. I just wanted to use them. But I read through the whole book 4 times before I even used them, trying to figure out how I can do this in the most respectful way. Because again, it's not my religion, and I didn't want to just jump in there and be like, all right, Papa, like, but we're best friends now.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
how you get your shit fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, a lot of especially these fluff bunny teenage girls are like, oh, well, I'm gonna practice voodoo. Oh, well, I'm gonna practice hoodoo. Papa Legba's my patron. No, it don't work
No,
like that. How do
sir.
you know Papa Legba is your patron? Well, I feel a pull and a connect. Really? You feel a pull and a connection to Papa Legba, therefore he's your patron. He's guiding you. He's guiding you through death and life. No,
It takes a little bit more than that. I mean, if you feel a pull to work with somebody, try working with them. You'll know if
sure.
it's not meant for you. If your spells aren't that powerful, if you're all of a sudden like bad things are going on in your life, there are so many signs that say, like, hey, this ain't the one for you. So you need to be really receptive of that, as receptive as you are to that feeling or that pull. And you need to look for signs. Divination is a really great way to be like, hey, is this meant for me? Flip a card. You can get a yes or no answer super quick. Like Santeria, not for me at all.
Yeah.
I cannot do Santeria, even because I had a tarot deck that was Santeria based. I was like, I just
That's
like
the
the art
one.
for it.
That's the one you're supposed to gift me, baby, because
Oh,
I
I
love
know.
Santeria. I connect with Santeria.
Well,
But
it's
those
folk
cards,
magic.
but
That's all
go
you.
right, right. But those cards, go ahead. They don't like your ass.
Oh no, every time I try to work with them, and I've tried several times, and again, I tried to do it respectfully because Santeria is not my heritage. Although actually speaking of heritage, I do have roots traced to like French Louisiana. So technically if I could or if I wanted to practice voodoo, I have the like heritage that's built in there, but it's not my religion.
Well, blood is part of the battle.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you are one of the many, 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 many few who I have allowed to go into my voodoo temple, which is literally a temple. It's enclosed. It ain't some shit that's outside. It's enclosed, and it has a podomiton. All right. For those of you don't know what a potomiton is, you need to Google it. But I've allowed. I just ain't got time right now. But hello, Raymond. But you've been into my voodoo temple.
Mm-hmm.
You felt a powerful connection, but you also felt what else, baby?
It felt like home, like where I was supposed to be. It felt like when you walk into a group of family and you feel all that love and a little bit of the fear, because some of your family members are crazy. You feel all of those strong emotions, but it felt like I was supposed to be there. It didn't feel like the spirits wanted me out. I felt like I was going to pass out, but just from the sheer force, not from a feeling of I'm not supposed to be there.
Do you think that if you had walked in that temple by yourself without me, you would have it would have went over a, a little easier because of the fact that I have so many attachments? And real quick, just side note, not all attachments are bad.
No, I think I would have preferred to walk in there with you. I think if I would have walked in by myself, it would have been too overwhelming. And I'm so familiar with the weight and the feeling of your attachments that it's kind of like a weighted blanket now. It's comforting. It makes me feel like I know that I got some badassery on my side. So I think if I didn't have you, I would have been overwhelmed and I would have passed out.
Well, my temple, it's taken me years to build my temple and to get my temple to where. Yeah. Oh, yes, Melvin. Yeah, I am in fact a Bokor. Yes, I am a Bokor. And a Bokor is a voodoo sorcerer who works with both hands. Now, what does that mean? Both hands. Okay. A Bokor is again a voodoo sorcerer who works with both hands. Both hands meaning he will practice both blessings and light type magic and cursing and very dark magic. keep in mind that not all dark magic is of an evil nature.
Absolutely.
Okay, but yes, Melvin. Yeah.
I think Bokors get a really bad rap as being evil because they do things that are negative to other people. I think that they definitely can be evil, but I think it's just like anything. If you do it with the right intention
Mhm.
and it's trying to serve some sort of justice, like you'll definitely know when your spells are justified. If you do a curse and it does nothing, you had no justification. The
Right.
universe, the spirits, whatever you want to attune to is clearly like, okay, this bitch just has an agenda and we're not going to serve her agenda.
Right. And Melvin says, "And what family of law do you work with?" Okay. So let me explain what the law is. The law is the spirits or the demigods of voodoo. All right. They're essentially gods. They're divine entities of voodoo, spelled LWA, also spelled LOA, the law. So for me, and I'm assuming this question is for me, Melvin.
Yes.
What family of Loa do I work with? Well, I work with two primary, the Gede, which was the death Loa, Baron Samedi, Maman Brigitte, the wife of Baron Samedi, and she happens to be by skin, she happens to be a white woman, a white Loa, one, probably the only white Loa in voodoo or voodoo. Um, and I also work with what's called the Petro or the red spirits. Now, these are spirits that, if you want to contact the Petro, you go to very desolate places. For me, it would be the swamps, since I'm only just a few miles away from any swamp at any given time. You go to the swamps and you contact the red spirits or the Petro Loa. They are the ones that they're full of gunpowder, dynamite, and
Piss and vinegar.
piss and vinegar. They are the bad boys. They are the ones who will basically, they can and they will and they have killed people on
Yeah.
behalf of the Bokor,
And they'll do it again.
and they'll do it again.
Absolutely. So I think that that's something that's really important to note is that, as Anne Marie Young said, it's all about balance. I think that if you are seeking to right something that was something or someone that was wrong, you're going to be justified. And so not all Bokors are evil. It just means that they're willing to get their hands a little dirty to do what needs to be done. And I think we need more people in the world like that, because there isn't, as we say all the time, absolute good or evil. It's more of a gray area.
Yeah, there is no such thing as absolute good. There is no such thing as absolute evil. It's not black and white. It's binary. It ebbs and it flows. So, and of course, there is a balance. Even when you work on those things, there is a balance. Melvin says, "Oh, the gay. No wonder you're sexual."
I don't know if that was a after effect or a before effect that just got amplified.
And it's an after effect. It got amplified, but yeah, and he knows what he's talking about. Melvin does. Thank you, Melvin, from Unknown Possibilities podcast. Check him out, by the way. The Gede, specifically Baron Samedi, also known as Baron Saturday. Okay, because Saturday is very sacred to the Gede, to the death Loa, and his wife Maman Brigitte. um, Sexuality is a big deal to them. It's a big thing. It's about having freedom. When you're at that polomitan and you're dancing around that pole and you're calling these spirits down by way of Papa Legba, and that pole itself represents Dambala, the great snake god, who is syncretized, by the way, with Saint Patrick. That was because of Catholicism. They had to hide that shit, unfortunately. But when all that shit comes together, it's all about sexuality. um, Being possessed by the Loa is a sacred thing, and of course, orgies is a sacred thing and can be a sacred thing.
I think sex magic is so freaking cool. That is something that I delve into that I don't think I've talked about before. But sex magic is extremely powerful, even if you're just doing it by yourself. Like some of the most powerful money spells that I've done have been backed up by uh, orgasms. If you give yourself an orgasm
Yeah,
for like 3 minutes and then do it 3 times, because then you're doing 3 by 3, you're guaranteed to get what you want.
And I'll expand on that a little bit. All right, real quick, Melvin, you're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. Unexplained possibilities. Unexplained possibilities with Melvin. Check him out. They're good. Okay. So, yes, of course, the orgasm is one of the most powerful things you could do. Me as a chaos magician or any chaos magician out there, if you create a sigil to create change within yourself or outside of yourself, aka your environment, if you want to live, if you want to extend your lifespan, if you want to attract a spirit or influence a spirit, if you want to attract love, or if you want to win the lottery, what's called autoerotica. Tell them what that is, baby.
I mean,
because they've all done it. They might lie, but they've all done
it. It's basically just like, I don't know how to say this. I'm trying to keep it PG. It's basically pleasuring yourself.
It's masturbation, y'all.
Well, yeah.
So
it's just not unfamily friendly.
Well, it always has been.
That's true.
But if you create a sigil and you decide you want to use sex magic to fire that sigil off, hold on, I'll create a sigil really quick, okay?
Don't do the rest of it.
I'm not. Darn.
But if you think about it, realistically, it is one of the most powerful things that a human can do. You have to think that like sex in and of itself is also one of the most powerful things a human can do. It takes man and woman and brings forth new life.
Is my book flipping and flopping here?
Yep.
All right, you see, that represents the testicles. The triangle represents the person, and the money sign represents the goal. Well, what is the goal? The goal is the money, right?
Yeah, it's super simple. Creating sigils is really simple.
So you take that sigil and you go, I don't know, in a basement or a bathroom or even a closet, and you lay that sigil down before you, and you look at that sigil and you do your autoerotica.
Mm-hmm.
And you can think about whatever you want to or whoever you want to in your mind at the time. But once you start to climax, you look at that sigil.
And you focus it, and you drill all your intent into your outcome.
Yes. And it will happen. That's that power, that sex magic. It's an energy. It's something that's tangible. It's something that can be, especially if you existed in the spirit realm. Spirits are very, very sensitive to this shit. So that's why I used to tell a lot of paranormal investigators, look, dude, you're at such and such place and nothing's happening. Use autoerotica or take your wife and have sex.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I would never do that. You do 999. But that's that's called firing off a sigil. Firing off a sigil in chaos magic is using sex or autoerotica. Okay.
Absolutely. I think that it's so powerful. It's one of the most powerful emotions, I guess, that a human can feel, because you got to think that your whole body is involved and activated. All your muscles are activated. There's such a release of dopamine, and it happens for that split moment, that it's literally the most power that you can draw from one action. Like, short of bloodletting, it's similar to life's blood or anything like that, because it does have the power to create life. Those apps do have the power to create life. So in many ways, I think it's a little more powerful than bloodletting, but it also depends on who you're working with and what their goal is.
Yeah, right. The goal is going to be the defining thing, I think.
Yeah, so I'll share a personal story. I actually I had a plan and a goal to save $10,000. Oh, we lost Ken. I'll tell you guys. I had a goal to save $10,000 by the end of last year, and I worked my little ass off. And every month, on the first of the month, when bills were due and payday was coming and that sort of thing, I worked my sex magic, and I said over and over in my brain, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. And I was able to do it, even though there were other things that were standing in my way. There was a lot of unknowns. It wasn't something that I could literally work for. It was a lot of extra bonuses and things that were unexpected, and web sales doing really well and stuff like that. So I was able to do it, and I think that you guys should definitely try it. Ken, did we lose you?
I'm back.
There you are.
Guess who's back? But the bloodletting thing reminds me of, and I want to give credit. I don't know if we talked about this yet or not, or if it was just behind the scenes about Brandon and Paranormal in the Fun House. Were we live?
We talked about it on live, and we talked about the episode, yeah.
Because we talked about so much prior to coming on, but this obsidian blade is the actual blade that I used on Paranormal in the Fun House Season 3 Opera House Theater Part 2. Go and watch it. Go and watch it. And I literally did cut myself to help open the veil. I'm not going to go into the incantation right now because it's a lot, and I don't want to cause any poltergeist activity in you guys' homes. Some of them are like, yes, please do it.
They're just trying to get you out there to investigate.
So, yeah, and speaking of that, Rhode Island, baby.
Mm-hmm. Tell them about Rhode Island.
Okay, so Ken Allen is going to Rhode Island.
Mistress B is not going to Rhode Island.
If I could, I would. I would.
I know.
So give me a lock of your hair and I'll bury it there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to Rhode Island. I'm going to this specific house. It's called the Conjuring House. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's the Harrisonville Farmhouse. So I'm flying out of Tallahassee, Florida, the capital. And I will be landing in Baltimore. Then it's an hour and a half drive to the Harrisonville Farmhouse. And I will be literally staying in the house for 5 nights. I will be sleeping in the basement by myself. Cameras will be rolling 24 hours. It does not matter if we're sleeping, if we're awake, whatever. Cameras will be rolling. We're using a hell of a lot of high-tech equipment. I am tasked with 3 specific things. I will be leading a seance. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to invoke the spirits and the entities that are there. I don't care what they are, human, non-human, whatever. That's the first thing I'm doing when I walk up there. And the third thing I'm going to do is more interdimensional related. I'm not going to get into that, but I will be helping out with that as well.
And who are you doing that with?
I am doing that with Outcast Paranormal. Outcast with a K. Look up Outcast Paranormal. They're good. They're good guys. And Stacy Brown is our producer. He's amazing. And
I'm so jealous. I want to meet Stacy so bad.
He only lives like 2 miles down the road from me, like literally 2 miles.
Okay, well, next time I come over, we're dropping in on Stacy.
Yeah, we'll drop in and aggravate the hell out of him. But Stacy's made movies with he's made a lot of movies. He has a lot of movies out there, but he made a movie recently with Les Stroud, Survivor Man. Mm-hmm. He made a movie with him called The Pit. It's on Amazon. Check it out. But he also has a movie called The Skunk Ape Experiments. Yes. I'm in that movie. My part is only like 2 minutes. It's not even a speaking part, but I'm in there. That should be coming out soon.
Yes,
but he's got a lot of movies on Amazon right now. This movie, this production, this is going to be big.
I'm so excited.
This is going to be big.
I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to make you a protection candle that you have to take with you, and then I'm going to make you one. It's going to be a little bit of a piss everybody off candle. So light one and then light the other one.
There's going to be a lot of. I'm probably when I go to the Harrisonville Farmhouse and I do what I need to do, I'm just going to be completely transparent and honest with everybody because I always am. You know that. Mm-hmm. I always am on this podcast. I'm probably going to lose a lot of friends. A lot of friends.
But especially you still have me.
Of course I will. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to lose a lot of friends in the occult community. That's fine. Because you know what? The paranormal community, They back me up every day.
So welcoming and loving.
So welcoming. They back me up every day. I get phone calls and text messages from the paranormal community. Hey, Ken Allen, what should we do? This is going on, et cetera, et cetera. I had 5 today. No kidding. And it's like, baby, I wish I was closer. I would do it myself, but I can't. So let me give you some recipes, y'all.
Absolutely. I think that's something that's so toxic about the occult community is everybody's so like concerned about gatekeeping. They don't want more people to practice, which I think is stupid. Like if you believe in something so strongly that you think that it'll work and that it's your belief system, your practice, why would you not want other people on your team to, you know, give power back to these deities that you work with?
Well, the thing is, the occult community is I hear a lot of people say, let me pull my mic up because I want everybody to hear this shit, y'all. In the occult community, there's a lot, first of all, there's a lot of egos, a lot of jealousy, extreme amounts of jealousy. Ken Allen is very unorthodox, even among other occultists. I do what I want to do. I say what I want to say. I've been doing it since I was 10, 11 years old. I'm 46 now. I'm not ashamed of my age. I think I look good to be 46.
Hell yeah.
Okay. And no, I didn't sell my soul to Satan. But hey, if he's willing to keep me looking like this at 200, we might talk. Anyway, I will lose a lot of friends in the occult community over this.
I think if you lose friends, then they weren't friends that you were meant to have in the first place.
That's
everybody
what,
that knows you knows your power and your knowledge and your intellect and your respect, and everybody else is just gonna have to fuck off.
Fuck off. No, and my husband agrees with you. I know he does because I know my husband. 22 years together, and every day is even better. I love that man more than life itself. My husband and my son is my life. The only anxiety I have, I'm not worried about the Conjuring House because that's my element. I am a sorcerer. I can handle that shit. I don't give a hell who's there. I don't give a damn who's there or what's there. I don't care if you're human or non-human or, if you polish George Washington's boots, because the house was born. Yeah, maybe born is the right word, but the house was built in the 1700s. And that road that runs by the Harrisonville Farmhouse was a major thoroughfare during the Revolutionary War. But my husband, my son, and my true friends, such as you, they're the only things that I give a damn about.
We'll be safe. Don't worry. You go out there and you do your thing.
And Teresa Slowinski.
Oh my God,
and Brandon Crody from Paranormal The Fun House. Brandon Crody. Reebok and Sarah.
Yep.
Brian J. Lavery.
Yep.
These are people that believe in me and trust me. And they should trust me because I know my shit.
You do. We're missing somebody. Jerome Baudry.
Oh, Jean-Jerome Baudry. Yes.
Yeah.
Jean-Jerome. Let me tell you about Jean-Jerome. What little bit I will tell you about him, but I won't say much. Jean-Jerome Baudry is an Ifa priest.
And he is one powerful motherfucker.
He is powerful, 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 powerful. If I called Jean-Jerome right now and I said, look, Jean-Jerome, this such and such or this bitch or this asshole is giving me a problem, what should I do? He'd say, here's what you need to do.
Yep. Yeah, he is one of the most powerful people that I have ever met. He is also one of the nicest. And
the thing is, if you people,
think it's an honor.
Yeah, if you guys think I'm powerful, y'all ain't never met Jean-Jerome Baudry, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't even know. Real quick, shout out to Parapost. Love you guys. Thank you, Brian.
Absolutely.
And Hauntophobic, Canada, right? Ain't that it?
I haven't heard of Hauntophobic.
Look at that bitch. She don't even know. I'm going to smack your ass.
Do it. I like it.
You're crazy. All right, Robert. What does Robert say? Mistress B, you're absolutely right. If they leave, then they never were your True friends, exactly. And then Brian J Lavery sends a bunch of hearts to you both.
Love
Thank you, Brian.
Brian.
We love you, Brian. I just want to massage your head, Brian, for real. You gonna let me? You gonna let me massage it, ain't you, Brian? We gonna meet one day, baby.
It's gonna get real weird. Thank you, Liz. You're so sweet.
I love Liz. She's in Scotland, and oh my God, you should hear her accent. It's like, hello, Can. I love you, Can. I can't even do it. It's so insane, her accent. It's like, what, Liz? What? Oh my God, what? But it's beautiful. I love Scottish accents.
Liz, you and I are gonna have to have a phone call because I want to get closer to you and I gotta hear this accent.
It's beautiful. And Brian's Brian J. Laverty says, anytime. All right, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna put, you know what, Brian? I'm gonna put some boa wrap on your head and pop it.
All right, don't get too freaky now. So speaking a little bit about gatekeeping and the occult, I want to talk about the difference between Wiccan and witchcraft. I think that it's an important distinction that we get into, and I think that like things like witch TikTok or witch talk are really starting to put some people in danger because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I want to go into like the differences in between Wiccan and witchcraft in general.
Well, I honestly don't even know where to begin because it's so expansive.
Well, I will tell you to start that you do not have to be Wiccan to practice witchcraft. The two are completely separate things. They have elements that are similar, and of course, Wiccans do practice witchcraft, but they aren't mutually exclusive.
Right. Wicca, okay. So I need one of those airplane throw-up bags for this, but so okay, Wicca versus traditional witchcraft. Wicca is not something that's new, relatively speaking. Wicca was Wicca, WICCA, was created and established in the 1950s by Gerald Gardner, hence Gardnerian witchcraft. Okay, Gardnerian witchcraft, babies. And Gerald Gardner, he was a civil servant. He was, and he should be because he is the one who did it. He was credited with the creation of Wicca, and he did for the most part. However, here's what a lot of people don't know, and if they do know it, they will deny it. Gerald Gardner and Aleister Crowley knew one another. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. They knew one another. So Gerald Gardner and Aleister Crowley met up, and they were like, specifically, Aleister Crowley was like, I want to create a new religion of witchcraft. And of course, Gerald Gardner was all ears, Mm-hmm. And if you've seen any of the photographs of Gerald Gardner, he had that white bushy hair and shit.
Looking like Einstein.
Yeah, you know what? That's great. He was the Einstein of Wicca. But Crowley was like, I got an idea. Let's create a religion of witchcraft. Gerald Gardner, being all ears, was like, okay, go ahead, baby. I don't know if he's gay or not, but whatever. I dated a Wicca. She was crazy. They are.
Some of them can be.
Whatever you don't give them bitches a lemon. Anyway.
Or any of your personal belongings. No spit, no blood, no hair, no piss, no nothing.
No, because for a Wiccan, it's all about attaching a man. Hey, Raymond. So
never
Crowley
eat
was like
at a Wiccan's house.
Do what?
Never eat spaghetti at a Wiccan's house.
Oh yeah, because there could be. All right. You're making me back up a little bit, but that's okay, because this is true in hoodoo and voodoo. Foods that contain red sauce, not ketchup, red sauce. Sauce. Red velvet cake. Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that I know that are connected to hoodoo will not eat red velvet cake. They won't eat spaghetti. anything with a large amount of tomato sauce, because they are concerned that the woman, in most cases, a woman that makes that shit for them, is putting her moon blood in it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what that is.
It's during that certain time of the month. I call it Shark Week. But what it is it's blood magic, and it's meant to bond that person to you magically and spiritually. It's the same thing that happens when you're doing it on the time of the month. If you're not careful, you can attach yourself to somebody, and that's how a lot of people go crazy if they aren't meaning to attach themselves to somebody that powerfully.
So there have been a lot of love spells, whether you want to fall in love with the person or not, a lot of bad love spells created from red velvet cake alone.
Oh yeah.
None of y'all motherfuckers are going to eat the red velvet cake. Okay, basically what she's saying is they're taking period blood when a woman has her moon, aka her period, and they're putting that shit in anything that's red sauce. What is that? Ragu.
Like yeah,
ragu, or the red velvet cake shit. A lot of African American men at a certain time would not eat red velvet cake. They refuse to eat. This is a fucking fact, y'all. So don't get angry. This is a fucking fact. And Mistress B, you got black blood. You can attest to this, right, baby?
Oh, yeah.
You know I'm not being prejudiced. You know I'm being for real.
Nope.
They would not eat red velvet cake or anything with red in it because they were concerned that their hoes, you know, not their wives, their hoes was putting their period blood into that, you know, into that cake or into that spaghetti or into whatever it was that used a red type ingredient, because using period blood is very powerful.
It's life-giving. It's literally life-giving. There's stem cells in there. There's all sorts of crap in there. And the thing about it is it doesn't cause love like most people think. It causes attachment. And if there is not love there, it starts to grow an unhealthy, disgusting, psychotic attachment. That's how you get these crazy guys that are outside of your house at 3 a.m. trying to break down your door.
Well, I've never experienced that, except there was, never mind. Yeah, he was in college, but that was not from the color of it. Never. Ooh, I need to stop. So, okay, Gerald Gardner.
Yes.
Gerald Gardner, the father of modern witchcraft being Wicca, Wicca. Okay, let's stop right there for a second. Wicca. It's spelled, first of all, it's spelled Wicca, Wicca. But it's an Anglo-Saxon word. Anglo-Saxon, Old English, right? You follow me, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's an Anglo-Saxon word that basically means wise one. In most cases, witch or Wicca or Wiccan is non-gender specific. However, in Old English, when you take two C's, two C's back to back, that's not a stronger K or K sound. Two C's in Old English is a CH sound, cha. So you're saying witcha, witcha, witcha.
That's where witch comes from.
Right, exactly. Which basically translates to wise one from the Anglo-Saxon / Old English language. Witcha, witcha. All right. So two C's back to back in Old English, which is a beautiful language. They use it on the show Merlin. And they use it legitimately, by the way. But two C's back to back in Old English is a CH sound, cha. So it's not Wicca, it's witcha, witcha. Now, what does witcha mean? Witcha denotes a male sorcerer. Witcha denotes a male sorcerer. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but Gerald Gardner, his influence for creating modern witchcraft, even though the 50s was forever ago, it's still modern, came from Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley and Gerald Gardner knew one another. They did.
Yeah,
They did.
absolutely. You can see a lot of similarities in what they created. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of ritualism in there, and I think that's one of the things that I don't vibe with Wiccan is that there's so much ritual. How the hell do you get anything done if you have to cast a circle, call the elements, and give your firstborn baby up, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, before you even get to the spell? Like, how are you going to get anything done? Nobody has that much goddamn time in a day.
Ain't that the truth? Especially right now. It's 2022. I mean, we're pushing 2023, and it's like, no, you're right. You're right. Okay. You know what? Speaking of circles and Wicca, okay, real quick, Wicca, Gerald Gardner. Also, Chris Carr and Kristen Johnson from Bigfoot and the Bunny. I love those guys. They bring up a good point. Alex Sanders. Alex Sanders was a powerful Wiccan priest, a Wiccan. I can't forget Alex exactly. He was a powerful leader in the Wiccan community. Alex Sanders was great. Okay, so you have Joe Gardner, Gardnerian Wicca, and then you have Alex Sanders, Alexandrian Wicca. Look, if you like Wicca, pursue it. Check it out. Read everything you can. All right, so
and
Alex
by the way,
Sanders.
just a disclaimer: I've known several Wiccans that aren't literally batshit insane. We talk shit because we talk shit about everybody. We're not disparaging Wiccans at all. I think if that's what calls to you, and if that's your religion, go for it. I don't give a shit what you do. Ken doesn't either. Go
No,
for it.
I don't. I talk shit about I talk shit about myself. It's just it's in my nature. I'll talk shit about everybody except for my husband.
Yeah, because he'll fight you.
He'll beat my ass.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband is Wiccan. Actually, he's a very powerful Wiccan.
He's incredibly powerful. But
there is such a thing. There is such a thing. There
Yeah.
are some powerful Wiccans out there, y'all.
And I think it's interesting the way in which your power is so different, because you work light occasionally, but your power is very dark and domineering, and it feels almost threatening in its strength. It's very much like some sort of big black specter with his arms crossed and horns coming out of his head that's looming over you. Whereas Kevin's power is incredible. It feels, I'm gonna tear up talking about it. It feels like a warm hug. It feels like when your mom would pick you up when you're crying and pat your head and kiss you on the cheek and tell you that everything is going to be okay. And it's the same level of power, but it's on such a different end of the spectrum. It's incredible.
Yes. 100%. Yes. Exactly. But what I was going to say, Alex Sanders, who created Alexandrian Wicca, which came after Gerald Gardner, Gardnerian Wicca, he created Alexandrian Wicca, and he was considered the king of witches.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he earned that title. He knew his shit too. But Alexandrian Wicca was not as soft as Gardnerian. Actually, you know what? Gardnerian Wicca wasn't soft either. Okay, let's go ahead and get this shit out of the way. The threefold law in Wicca.
Something I don't ascribe to. The threefold law basically means that if you do anything, it will come back to you threefold. So that's why they don't curse, as far as I know, and tell me if I'm wrong, but they don't curse because they believe if they curse, it'll come back in threefold to them. But it's not something that I ascribe to. I understand it because it's all about balance, but I see balance going both directions, positive and negative. Sometimes you got to do some negative to figure things out.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So with regards to Gerald Gardner, he never believed in a threefold law. He never believed in a do what thy will, but harm none. That was a book that all that shit came from a damn book that he written that was a fictional book. And it made reference to a threefold law and all that stuff. And everybody, after they read it, this, oh, Gerald Gardner read this. Well, they forgot to read the rest of it, that it wasn't, it wasn't something that he truly believed in. Exactly, Chris. Witches read. He didn't believe in a witches read where, uh, whatever you put out comes back to you threefold. He didn't believe in that. Gerald Gardner was dark. Gerald Gardner actually did work with demonic entities. He did.
I did not know that.
Oh, he did. Yes. He was a major part of stopping the Nazis too. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did know about that. Yes, there was a lot of magic that went on in stopping the Nazis.
And Gerald Gardner was part of that, but long time ago, before he got really well known and popular. But anyway, Gerald Gardner claimed to be from the. Hold on. Fantastic. So Gerald Gardner wrote the book. It was a fictional book. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now, because reading about Wicca isn't really something that interests me that much. But he wrote this fictional book, and within this fictional book, there was this concept of a threefold law and things coming back to you 3 times 3 times 3. And everybody fell on the bandwagon of that shit. Mm-hmm. Well, what they don't know is that Gerald Gardner and Sybil Leek, okay, I love Sybil Leek, y'all. They were all about cursing when cursing seemed to be necessary. Gerald Gardner, in this, nobody's been able to prove or disprove this, but Gerald Gardner claimed to be from the New Forest Coven. The New Forest Coven in England. The name sounds great, right? It sounds mysterious.
Sounds exciting.
It sounds exciting, exactly. And according to the New Forest Coven, by way of Sybil Leek, everybody did their craft skyclad. Now, for those of you that don't know what skyclad is, skyclad means naked. You didn't wear nothing, all right? Maybe you wore a pentagram, not upside down like me, because I'm demented and I'm cool like that. But they would wear no clothes whatsoever, and they would do their rituals and stuff. Now, I've done private rituals, just me, nobody else. I've done that in the nude, and that's fine, that's me. But Sybil Leek, who I have a lot of respect for, Gerald Gardner, I have a lot of respect for him too. Wicca, I'm not really on the Wiccan fence, but he claimed to be from the New Forest Coven, which is the same place that Sybil Leek was from. And if you know Sybil Leek, she also was a master of astrology. She believed in cursing, giving them, and she also, her family, when she was a little girl, actually met Aleister Crowley too.
See, there's a lot of connections that stuff just gets buried as it goes on and on and on, and I don't know. I feel like with a lot of the hate that happened towards witches, especially in history and even still today, like people just want to bury the unsavory parts of things. They want to say, oh, I'm a witch. It's not that bad. I don't curse. I only work with love and light and blah, 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 because they're afraid of persecution, which I totally understand. I'm risking everything to be on this podcast and to practice my craft. My parents found out, they'd probably disown me. So I think that you got to look into your history. If you want to practice something, especially a religion, because that's the difference between witchcraft and Wicca. Wiccan is a religion. It's not just witchcraft. It is a religion.
Right.
Whereas witchcraft, you can practice whatever you want as long as it's not closed. We'll talk about that. But you can practice whatever you want. You can pull from different regions. You can do different stuff. It's beautiful. But Wiccan is a religion. And so I think that they're just trying to pander and be all fluffy bunny and not necessarily looking into their own history. I mean, Christians do the same thing. Everybody wants to say that Jesus is all love and light and happy thoughts, but they're not going to look at the God that smites whole cities.
Smites whole cities and kills the unborn and beats the hell out of everybody in the tax collector's office.
Yeah, and literally sacrifices his own son.
Yeah. Which, you're a supreme being. You can't sit there and tell me that, oh, well, there's no way around it other than killing my only begotten son. That's, you know what? I'll say it because I don't know anybody brave enough to. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You
If
did
you
not
can
have to. You did not have to sacrifice your own son for nothing. Why aren't you God?
Mm-hmm. And literally in the Old Testament, so many people had to sacrifice their own sons or animals or anything like that. You're not telling me that that's not witchcraft, animal blood?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because, all right, Melvin, I'll get to you in just a second because I agree with you. Jesus and Lucifer are one and the same. Hail Satan, hail Jesus, hail Lucifer. All right, so the Jehovah God, the Canaanite mountain god called Jehovah or Yahuwah. Anyway, he loved blood sacrifices. He loved. It's even in the Bible where he talks about how much he loves blood sacrifices. It's even in the Bible how much he raved about the incense of burning flesh. That's how he referenced it. The incense of burning flesh. He loved burning flesh.
Yeah. There's
He
so much
did.
darkness in the Old Testament if you really read it. And then go from the Old Testament straight to Revelations and tell me that that isn't a scary story that is meant to like freak children out.
You know what I used to do when I'd read the Old Testament?
What?
I would get a marijuana pipe and I'd smoke the hell out of that shit, right? I'd
Oh,
get
God.
stoned and I would read Revelations. So it would sink into my subconscious.
That's terrifying, Ken.
Oh, of course it was terrifying, but I wanted that experience. It was horrendous. I was like, oh my God. You know, of course it was, but I wanted that experience. I wanted to experience what it was like to read Revelations while high as hell on marijuana. And I did that shit. And oh my God, Becky.
See, I think I can top you because the first time I read Revelations, I was a young child, maybe like 10 or 11. And I just fucking cried and cried and cried. And I couldn't understand a God who was supposedly so loving that would be willing to do these things to his own creations. I couldn't fathom it. And that was really when I started to question, like, okay, God must not be for everybody like he says he is, because if he's willing to do all this, like, we can't play.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't play, baby.
So I want to talk a little bit. We've mentioned it before. I just wanted to go into a quick disclaimer about closed practices, and I'm interested to see what you think about this, especially being Muskogee. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Muskogee.
Okay. So closed practices are something that essentially means it's not for you. It's closed. You have to be brought in, you have to be raised in it. It has to be in your blood, in your lineage, which is why I am blood wise able to practice voodoo if I want to. It's in my heritage. I still have to get brought in by a priest and I still have to go through all the
Okay.
rituals of it. But blood wise, it's like I've been grandfathered in.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, you have the blood. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and yes, a lot of people don't want to hear that shit. They want to be able to do what they want and practice what they want. Oh, I'm going to practice voodoo. What difference does it make? Oh, I'm a white 15-year-old with blue eyes, blonde hair. I'm going to practice voodoo. Well, why?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like it. It looks good. Okay, bitch, go ahead and practice voodoo. But your
See
ass
what
will be a blood
happens.
stain in a week, you know?
Yep. Yeah, it's very similar. You can think of the example of like driving a car when you're 10. Of course you want to drive a car when you're 10. It looks fun, especially if it's your dad's sick ass Camaro. You want to be a cool kid. But if you don't know what you're doing and if it's not for you, if you are not able to do those things by age, by race, by whatever conditions that are in that like magical practice, you're gonna die
Mm-hmm.
at
Yeah.
the worst. I mean, best case scenario, none of your spells are gonna work. Worst case scenario, you're gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with closed practices. If you have no business doing them, or if you haven't legitimately been called to them, uh, these spirits can and will kill you. They can kill you for sure. And it has happened already. It's happened. there's been a few documented cases of it. So
Yeah, it definitely has. And one thing that I think is important when you're looking at closed practices is respect. So there are a lot of things that a lot of people will tell you, especially on the internet nowadays, that you can do. One of the things that pisses me off the most is sage. So
yes,
smudging in and of
preach
itself
it.
is a closed practice. Do not use white sage. I don't care who you bought it from. I don't care how like holistic you think it is. White sage isn't going to fix all your problems. There are other herbs that you can burn that'll be just as cleansing, just as loving. But B, it's not for you. It is a closed religious spiritual practice that is limited to Native Americans, and people are wiping out white sage because every white girl named Tiffany says, "Oh, I have to smudge my house. I think there's a ghost in here."
No, you're 100% correct. Yeah,
And I think it's
absolutely.
irritating. And I think that if you want to learn about a practice because it's beautiful, I think that you should learn about a practice. But can you incorporate those things into your practice? Not necessarily. There are
Not
some
necessarily.
there are some things that you can incorporate, like let's say a certain practice associates certain colors or certain herbs with certain deities or times in the month or something like that. If there are correlations that they draw, yeah, you can do that. But if you're copying their ritual step by step, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yep.
And one more thing to add, this is like literally something that drives me up a wall. One more thing to add, poppets are not voodoo specifically.
Exactly. Poppets are not voodoo dolls. They are not voodoo specific. It's folk magic in general. Thank you.
Yes, Santeria does it. Strega does it. I'm not 100.
European folk magic does it.
Yeah, exactly. And most folk magic has poppets. So stop calling them voodoo dolls. Stop saying that you're a voodoo priestess. Stop thinking that you can kill a man with just a couple of pins because you're not. Take a back seat.
Like Chris Carr says, sympathetic magic. Yeah, and sympathetic. Let me touch on something real quick. I'm gonna give you. Okay, you know what? Let me put this candle over here. Let me move this candle over here. I'm gonna give y'all women out there, or gay men. I'm gonna give y'all a spell. All right. What you think, Mistress B? Should I do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's the penis spell, y'all.
I have not heard of this one. Let's go.
Oh, it's good. It's great. So, okay. If you find that your man is cheating on you, or
Cut his
hell,
penis off.
well, there's a little more to it than Lorena Bobbitt. Okay. By the way, he went on to make pornos and shit, right?
I did not know that, no.
Yeah, they sewed it back on and he made pornos and he made millions of dollars because he was the man who got his dick cut off and could have sex and made pornos.
Well, all right. That's making the most out of what the world gives to you.
It was probably crooked, but anyway.
That's okay.
Most people don't care. Anyway, all right. This is a penis spell, y'all. Frankencock. Bigfoot and the bunny. Ooh. God, I wish I could bring them on here right now. Okay, so Bigfoot and the bunny. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Love you guys. Good show tonight, by the way. All right. So the penis spell. All right, here it is, baby. What you do is you get you some pins, at least 13 straight pins with black heads on them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I keep a case, y'all gonna think, I keep a case in my glove compartment of my truck.
That's not surprising.
Love you too. And then you get a brand new cucumber at the store. All right. Now, listen here. If you know the size of the guy's junk, then you get a cucumber that's relative to that.
The more accurate, the better.
Exactly. The more accurate, the better. If you don't know the size of the guy's junk, then just make a guess based on his personality.
They do sell mini cucumbers. Don't worry.
All right. So you take that cucumber. I should have brought a cucumber in here. I'm going to use a candle that's not lit. So you take that cucumber, right? And then you take these 13 pins and you start from the what would be the base, the balls area.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. And you rotate. Boom, boom, boom. Rotate. Boom, boom, boom. Rotate. Almost like a spiral.
Yep.
Straight pins with black they're plastic, little plastic black heads. You can get them at like Michael's or any kind of store, like crafting store. All right. You then carve the guy's name into that cucumber. Let's say his name is Dalton. Dalton. But okay, I'm making that face because that's like your hatred. Dalton. You put that in there.
Carve that shit out, baby.
Exactly. Thank you. Say it again, baby.
Carve that shit out, baby.
One more time, honey.
Carve that shit out, baby.
Yes, because your magic is
in you.
Exactly. All right. Carve that shit out. You got them pins going, at least 13 pins. You can do more than that if you want, but do it in increments of 13. All right. I'm not going to get into the 13 and the Knights Templar and shit. That's for another show.
just trust us. It's 13.
Just trust us. It's 13. Yeah. All right. You got that cucumber, right? That bitch is loaded. You dig a hole. All right. It doesn't have to be deep. You just dig that hole. Bury the cucumber in the west. The west is the area of death and diminishing and ridding of things. That's why whenever people call me, paranormal investigators call me and say, well, what should I do with this Ouija board? I give them all this and this and this and this. And the last thing I say is bury it in the west.
Yep.
Or at a crossroads if you can. But don't worry about burying the penis at a crossroads. Bury this motherfucker in the west, y'all.
Mm-hmm. West is
best. West is best. We want this shit to just fucking rot and die. All right. So you got the dick. I mean, the penis. Throw it in the hole. All right. Throw it in the hole. Cover it up with dirt.
Stomp on that motherfucker a couple times too.
Stomp on it with absolute hatred. And every time you stomp on it, just say, I hate you, stomp. I hate you, stomp. I hate you, stomp. Ow, I hit my knee. Anyway, and then spit on that shit 3 times. I'm not going to do that, but all right. It's buried. You spat on it. Walk away. Do not look back. Do not look back, y'all.
It's the same thing as it's the whole thing of when one door closes, another opens. You look back, you crack open that door. Keep that shit shut.
Keep that shit shut, like she said, baby. With her beautiful hair. All right. So, yeah. What the hell is going on with my camera? It's probably the angels. They're mad. I'll deal with them later. So you got it buried. You spit. You got it buried. You got the straight pins in it, et cetera, et cetera. You got the name of so and so carved into it, and set and forget it. Exactly. It's a very callous thing to say. And set it, forget it, walk away, and preferably in the west. So here's what's going to happen. Now, you can do this shit to people who are rapists, people who are child molesters. I've done this to people who are child molesters because I have a 5-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And by the gods of heaven and hell, I pity that bastard who would ever harm my son.
Well, I don't even want to think about what would happen to him.
But you bury that. For you ladies who has been cheated on, you want to get his ass? Bury that shit in the west. Got the pins. You got his name carved into that cucumber. All right. Walk away. But before you walk away, turn around and spit on that area where you buried it 3 times.
Before you walk away.
Before you walk away. As that cucumber rots, that sumbitch's dick is not going to start working ever again. It will rot off. He'll have to go to the doctor talking about, do I have gonorrhea? What's wrong with me? And the doctor will do all these tests. Well, did you this? And did you use a condom? Well, yeah, I that. And yeah, I that. It ain't going to matter. Because you know what he ain't going to say to his doctor?
I cheated.
Right. He's not going to say, I cheated and she put witchcraft on me.
Yep. Then he's going to end up in the loony bin.
It doesn't matter where he ends up because guess what?
Dick still won't work.
He ain't going to have a dick. Now, I know for a fact that this spell has happened and it will work because I've seen that shit turn black. And you know what happens to a banana when you leave it on the counter for too long?
Mm-hmm.
What happens, Mistress B?
Turns black, gets mushy, starts to smell, attracts flies, the whole nine.
What kind of flies? Fruit
flies.
So there you go. Ken Allen, Mistress B, we gave you all you guys a free spell. If a son of a bitch is cheating on you, do it.
Yeah. Do it. Cucumber.
Yeah. Cucumbers ain't much.
Yeah.
All they are is pickles before they turn pickled. I like cucumbers and pickles.
You know what? I think that that's something else. As you were talking about this, that I was thinking of is that magic doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be ceremony. It doesn't have to be wailing and screaming. And it reminds me, a lot of people's idea of magic reminds me of evangelical churches where they're pounding on the floor and they're shaking, raising their hands. It doesn't have to be that. It can be as simple as like with the way you stir your tea. Left for attraction, right for pushing that shit off.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. You can incorporate magic anywhere and everywhere. I have a little mini altar. It's about yay big because the space I live, I'm not able to openly practice. And in it is these little teeny tiny vials that I got on Amazon, super cheap. Mm-hmm. And I put some blue rocks in one, sealed it with blue wax. Put some sand in one, sealed it with like a tan candle. Put some red stones in one and some smoke from a match, sealed it with red wax. Put a little bit of grass, put a little bit of green stones, put a little bit of dirt in another one, sealed it with green wax. There you go. There's my altar. And it literally fits in an Altoid can.
And you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. So
do this. Hey, do this real quick. Go. With your hair. Yeah, Mistress B up in this mug.
Ready to go. I think that something that I really love about magic that I want to pass on to our viewers is that you are the you in your magic. We say that all the time.
You know what? You say that all the time. And it is one of the most profound things you have said since we started the Wizard's Table podcast. You are the magic in your magic. And I live by that shit. Bitch, you affected me. I live by that shit every day. What does Chris say?
Truly believe a lot of the complexity of high magic is to keep it a secret or maybe away from the masses. That's absolutely true.
Yes.
Nobody wants to get into the whole ceremony. Nobody wants to teach everybody the rites and the passages and that you have to do certain spells on Tuesday when the moon is full and you have to do the hokey pokey and you have to get the blood of a virgin.
Right, and you need 15 virgins bathing in a sun-dappled pool.
Yeah, exactly. All you need is a couple supplies from Michael's, a couple supplies from the grocery store, and you're good to go.
And a couple supplies from the Dollar Tree.
There you go. Ken and I were actually talking about this. Well, there's two things I want to bring up. The first thing, did you know that white candles and quartz can substitute for any color candle and any crystal?
Right.
You don't need much.
Only thing you got to be careful about with quartz crystals, and I've tried to tell people this, but they think I'm an idiot, is quartz crystals can attract spirits and they can use it as an anchor to take up residence.
They can. If you're not doing what you need to be doing, you need to be careful in all your things. Be careful. If your quartz starts to go cloudy, get rid of that shit.
That's right.
But the other thing that I wanted to bring up was that, what was I going to say? Oh, crap, I lost it.
I'm sorry, baby.
No, you're good. I think that most of the things that you need to start witchcraft are already in your own home.
Oh, folk magic. Of course, folk magic is witchcraft. Okay, all right. Pine saw. Pine saw is used in hoodoo folk magic. Bleach. Yes, yes,
Mhm.
y'all. Let me pull my microphone. Bleach is a big component in hoodoo folk magic. Bleach and pine saw. You want to rid
Absolutely.
your house of unwanted spirits? Start cleaning your house with bleach and pine saw.
Don't mix the two together because I'm pretty sure it
No,
creates mustard gas.
well, and if somebody pisses, definitely don't spray it down with bleach.
Yeah, be careful mixing chemicals. But that's the thing is you have everything that you want to get started in your own home now. You don't have to get a robe. You don't have to like we say, you don't have to find 15 virgins. You know how hard it is to find 15 virgins that are over the age of 18 in today's day and age? That shit ain't gonna happen.
There ain't none left.
And we don't sacrifice kids on the wizard's table.
No, we don't. No.
We
Hell,
leave them there
we
alone.
don't like virgin. We don't even like females on the wizard's table.
I mean, I like females, but that's because I'm bisexual.
You're an exception, baby.
I appreciate it.
As your hair. Hello, Donna Lynn. So something. Oh, let me read Chris Carr from Chris Carr, Kristen Johnson from Bigfoot and the Bunny. Ooh, Jesus. He says intentions are the same. Anne Marie Young,
Yeah.
yourself and Kristen Johnson.
Oh, yourself and Kristen Johnson get it. And Anne Marie Young says the way I do something may be completely different from others. We are all different. And I agree.
Absolutely.
Do
Yeah.
what resonates with you. And that was my other point. Is make stuff work for you, not the other way around. Don't try to conform yourself into somebody else's practice. Like
Never.
I don't follow the phases of the moon. Why? Because I'm lazy. That's really all it boils down to. I'm one lazy motherfucker. I got shit to do. I can't be waiting for a Tuesday at 12:30 to go collect my rainwater and do my spell. I need sleep. So
Right.
I'm going to do it whenever I want. I'm going to set my intentions and make the magic come to me.
And the thing about that is, guess what? It still works.
Mm-hmm. If you're justified and your intentions are strong, it will work.
If you're justified and your intentions are strong, yeah. I don't follow house of this and house of that and where Pluto's at and where Jupiter's at. I mean, that would be nice if I had the time to do it. But who the hell's got the time to do it in the 21st century? I try to go by the moon phases, but even then it's like, okay, what is your moon phase? Oh, you're a black moon. Well, I can get in touch with Hela, the Norse goddess of death, but that's not what I'm doing tonight. You know what? I'm just going to do my shit. And guess what? My shit works.
Mm-hmm. If I got to do shit on a Tuesday, I got to do shit on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter what the phase of the moon is. I got shit to do.
And it's like invoking Papa Legba, again, back to the voodoo or the voodoo. His Papa Legba or Legbas or Saint Peter Legbas, his days are Saturday, but you can also work with him on a Monday.
Yeah, and I think that there's a slight difference in working with deities on days that they prefer because it's going to be easier because you're working with a separate entity. You know what I mean? Like if somebody tells you to come over on a Wednesday and you come over on a Thursday, they're going to be pissed.
But you can gain respect from deities and the Loa and various other spirits, whether it's angelic or my favorites, demons, by working on days that aren't compatible with them, because they're gonna pay more attention to you and they're gonna say, "Oh shit, he's serious, isn't he?
Somebody showed up on my doorstep. What the fuck does he want?"
He's serious." Exactly.
Yep.
And you know, and that kind of brings me to goetic magic versus demonolatry. Now, you want a good authority? You want to read books on I've got a pee so bad. Anyway, you want to read a good authority on demonic magic, demonolatry, read S. Connolly. S. Connolly. Now, I have all of her books hardcover because it's so epic and so amazing and so real and it works. I would never order a soft cover from this woman.
That's
It would be,
disrespectful. It has to be hardcover.
I was just exactly. You took the words
I
out of my
get
mouth.
you. I'm right here.
Okay. It would be so disrespectful. But so Goetia, Goetia, Goetia is the actual system or pantheon of spirits, sometimes also referred to as demons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they are referenced in what's called the Ars Goetia, Ars Goetia, the Ars Goetia, which is a chapter in the Lesser Key of Solomon. You don't know what that is? Please look up or buy. You can buy on Amazon all day long the Lesser Key of Solomon. I've got like 87 copies of that shit. The Lesser Key of Solomon. Huh?
I need one.
Yeah, you do. But demonolatry, all right, here's the thing. Demonolatry, that's how I usually work with demons, is through demonolatry. Now, demonolatry by definition is the worship of demons, not just simply working with them occasionally in an occult practice. But I do as a sorcerer, a professional occultist, because I'm a professional occultist. I am a professional sorcerer. I do not worship anything. I do not worship demons. I go to what I feel is going to bring me power in that moment.
Absolutely.
That's the chaos mage in me, right?
Yep, that's that left-hand path, baby.
That's the LHP, honey. Yeah, baby. You said it. But for all intents and purposes, demonolatry is the worship of demons, not just simply working with them occasionally in occult practice. Now, demonolators work exclusively with demons, but not just the ones in the Ars Goetia, again, the Lemegeton, but also the Abramilian. Now, that's a grimoire too, the Abramilian. They work with the Abramilian demons. And even other obscure pantheons like Sumerian, Arabian, even Egyptian. Now, and then you get into what's called Enochian magic. Enochian magic is where you work with archangels, angels. The Book of Enoch. Think of the Book of Enoch. If you haven't read the Book of Enoch, I highly recommend you do.
Yeah.
Please read the Book of Enoch. Okay. But Enochian angels, such and so, I'll give you the four angels of the four directions of the Enochian pantheon. You have Raphael in the east. Okay, you have Michael in the south. You have what's his name in the west. Sorry, I got a lot of shit going through my mind right now. Oriel in the west, who is connected to water. Then, of course, you have Gabriel in the north, who is an earth angel. So, working with the Enochian angels can be extremely dangerous. In fact, more so dangerous than working with demons.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Angels are tempestuous sons of bitches. They think they're all powerful, and they are very powerful, but they think that they're the good guys and that they're all righteous and that any mischief that they do, they can just get away with because they have this all-powerful God behind them. So angels are a lot to work with.
They're a lot to work with, and the thing is, they're very arrogant. Angels are very arrogant, and they think, well, we're going to give you what we think you need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I don't need to win the lottery 27 years down the road. I need to win that shit today.
Yep.
You know, but they're pretty malicious. Again, it goes back to the Pharaoh of Egypt and killing all those babies and every living thing and all the frogs and frogs and maggots and all that. You know what? You don't believe it? Read the Bible. That's some evil shit. That is evil right there. Read your Bible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, again, there's Enochian spirits. There's Sumerian demons, such as Pazuzu, who I work with. Pazuzu is actually a protector. He will defend you against other demented and evil demons. Even though he looks scary, whatever, it's okay. He's got your back.
Yeah.
He's got your back, baby.
Absolutely.
And and most magicians, especially when they work with Goetia versus demonolatry, because again, demonolatry, we're working with demons to connect with them. We're working with demons to make a connection with them, not to balance them or not to control them, but to gain power from them as friends and as allies. Like I work with the jinn, and I've said this on other podcasts, and I guess I might as well say it here. I just hate to keep saying it because I sound like such an egoist, but I have a jinn spirit who is a guardian. He is a guardian of mine, and he protects me.
I love your jinn spirit. He very much reminds me of Cerberus in that he is very powerful, very ferocious, but if he's under the right conditions, he's just a big old puppy dog. So he can kill you, but he won't. And that's kind of the feeling that I get from being around your jinn, is he's kind of like this swanky, suave, kind of Batman-esque. At least that's the feeling that I get. Where like, yeah, he could kill you if he's Batman and you're doing something wrong. Or he could be Bruce Wayne and be a ladies' man and a millionaire and just charm the teeth right off of anybody.
Yeah. But you know what? All the Batmans that's been on there, aside from Christian Bale, has there really been any on there that's attractive? Like,
Robert Pattinson just did Batman.
Get the fuck out of it. Girl, he looked like Frankenstein on there. Come on now.
You look like Frankenstein.
Yeah, you trying to be funny, bitch.
Yes. Don't come for me.
No, but girl, some of them can't.
I think he's attractive.
I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Even when he was doing those vampire movies, I don't see it.
Well, maybe I just like men more than you.
I really fucking doubt that. Look at my eyes. I doubt that. Lord have mercy. You got me frazzled tonight, Mistress B.
Hey, I'm on one. I told you, I've been up since 5 a.m. My knees hurt so bad, I'm ready to cry. I'm not playing around.
You need some coffee. But, the thing is, most magicians will use divine names. Okay, most magicians will actually, when working with demons, they will use divine names of God in Hebrew and even Aramaic. And, of course, divine names of angels to constrain demons. Whereas a demonolator will often dedicate altars and regular offerings, much like how you would venerate a deity.
Mm-hmm.
However, of course, these distinctions aren't always black and white, right?
Yeah.
So,
it's and of course,
like some traits may overlap, depending on the practitioner, of course.
Mm-hmm.
What about the mafia?
It's kind of like making friends with the mafia. Like you got to know that they're more powerful and that they, if they wanted to, could hurt you at any time. But if you're allies with them, you're going to get shit done.
I don't know anything about the mafia.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Mr. Sicilian, you don't know anything about the mafia.
I don't know nothing about it, baby. All I know is my mother has a spaghetti recipe that's 300 years old.
I need to try that.
Well, she swears she ain't giving it to nobody in the family but me.
Good, then you're going to make it for me.
Well, she's going to write it down. I told her, I said, Mama, write it down in your own handwriting. I'm going to frame it. I will keep it in my house in a secret place.
If you have her write it down twice, I'll make you a wood burnt cutting board that has it in her handwriting. I
Really?
won't read it. Yeah, I won't read it. If you're okay with me just making it for you, I will wood burn it into a cutting board that you can use and pass down to Jackson.
Now that I can do.
Perfect.
You know what? Speaking of my mother, tomorrow is Mother's Day. And I want to put this out there real quick. My mother's not in good shape, y'all. Hospice has been called in and she's at home right now. She's got a lot wrong with her. I'm not going to go into details because I just can't do it tonight. But if you guys can please send me a lot of powerful healing energy, healing medicine. I don't care how you pray or who you pray to. If you could do that for me, that would be great.
Yeah, we would appreciate it. Light a candle, say a
Because
prayer.
my mother lived for one thing only. She lived for her children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm her oldest. She lives for her children, and that's why she's still here.
Yep.
So, hey, I really hope that it's almost 8 o'clock. I know we've been on here for a while. I hope we help answer some questions. If not, I'm sorry.
Feel free to DM us anytime at the Wizard's Table. Definitely DM us. We'll try and help the best that we can. We're always here as a resource. We have a Discord, so you can talk to Ken directly. He mans that. I don't have time to man that. Join us on our Discord. DM us. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible if we can help. We're always here for you because you are the Wizard's Table just as much as we are.
Exactly. You are the Wizard's Table. Discord. We're on Discord. We're on Twitch. What else are we on, baby?
YouTube, Facebook. We're also on Parapost, Netflix, Facebook, and I'm manifesting it right now. We're going to be on, not Paraflix, Parapost, excuse me.
Parapost.
I'm manifesting it, though. We're going to be on Paraflix at one point.
It won't be long.
I believe it.
And a big shout out to Chris Carr and Kristen Johnson from Bigfoot and the Bunny. Ooh, Jesus. Donna Lynn, thank you. Anne Marie.
Liz Mill.
Love. Thank you. Robert, who is a good friend of mine and like a brother to me. Thank you, Robert. And big shout out to Robert's wife, Sarah. Robert's also known as Reebok. He is a professional paranormal investigator and he's damn good at what he does. So
he absolutely is. Big shout out to Melvin Seaborn from Unexplained Possibilities.
Yep.
He is so incredible. He's one of the best interviewers that I've ever had the possibility of meeting, and he's also extremely knowledgeable and extremely powerful. I don't think he's watching right now, but when he sees this, he'll blush and he'll try to talk himself out of it. Don't let him convince you that he's some sort of meek and mild person. He is extremely powerful.
And Brandon Crody from Paranormal in the Fun House.
Absolutely.
So, Mistress B, your hair looks good. Your glasses look great. You look alive. You look vibrant. Yeah, do that again. One more time. One more time. One more time. Oh, cover girl. Okay, you look good.
You do too, Ken. Keep that skin young. Keep selling that soul to the devil.
Oh, Satan save us. Be our savior.
All right, y'all.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Wizard's Table podcast. We love each and every one of you. Nothing but blessings, heavenly blessings, and infernal blessings. Nothing but love, guys.
And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We love you. You are the eternal goddesses. You created life out of your womb. That's badass.
Yeah, that is badass. You women have a power that I could never understand. I sound like Princess Leia. You have a power I can never understand. Anyway, those who are Star Wars fans would know what I meant. But yeah, no, you girls are great. Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.